On our third episode of Ready to Launch, a podcast about entrepreneurship in MENA, my co-host, Merissa Khurma, from the Wilson Center's Riyadh podcast, and I spoke with Mouna bin Halima, a seasoned entrepreneur from Tunisia, who is taking her family hotelier business to new levels. Mouna shared her story of inheriting the business from her father and how the Jasmine Revolution of 2011 has shaped her entrepreneurial journey to move away from the mass tourism model that is prevalent in Tunisia, and also to give back to her community by mentoring youth on their own entrepreneurial projects. Tune in to learn more about Mouna, as well as starting and growing your business in Tunisia.
Welcome to the third episode of Ready to Launch, Entrepreneurship in the Middle East and North Africa region, a joint series between Riyadh, a Wilson Center podcast, and the Straight Up Startup from Amman, Jordan, hosted by Rajae Sahouri. I'm your co-host, Merissa Khurma, Director of the Middle East Program here at the Wilson Center. Today, we turn to Tunisia in North Africa, whose economy is composed of small and medium businesses akin to Jordan's economy. In fact, micro enterprises of 4 or fewer workers account for about 97% of Tunisian businesses. It's also a country that's been encouraging entrepreneurship to relieve the pressure on the bloated public sector and to address the unemployment challenge, which today stands at around 35%, particularly amongst youth. So we're delighted to be speaking today with Mouna bin Halima, who is the founder and CEO of Hotel La Badira in Hammamat, and an active member in various NGOs, including Reseau Entreprendre, a community of business leaders in Tunisia and beyond. Mouna, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you, Merissa, and thank you for the confidence you have in a Tunisian entrepreneur.
Absolutely. So, Mouna, we are very curious to hear your story. What is it that got you to become an entrepreneur? And why particularly the tourism industry and hospitality?
Oh, I was born almost in a hotel. So I am from a hotelier, a family of hoteliers. I was born in Tunis. I went to a well-known high school. Then after the baccalaureate, I went to France. I did my master in Université Paris-Dauphine in management. And I returned back to Tunisia in 1996. I was 24. And unfortunately, it was not expected. My dad passed away when I was 24. So I am the elder in the family. And I had to very quickly become the first responsible of the business as soon as I had my degree. So my first job was continuing to manage the family business in hotel industry. So we have 3 hotels, and for the first years, I was very supported by the team that was around my father. And then I began wanting to develop the business. So 2 years after, I decided to build another new hotel that is called Taj Sultan now, and that is managed by a multinational called Golden Tulip. And after, I renewed Hotel Le Sultan, and the constructions last 2 years. And we refresh it to make it more in the air, in the fashion of the time. And then I wanted to make a small break after around 10 years of working in an intensive manner. So I made an MBA between 2008 and 2010. And after that MBA, I was convinced that I had to change somehow the manner I was managing hotels, and I had to find something that distinguished the product from all the numerous hotels that were in Hammamet. Hammamet is the main touristic city in Tunisia. There are 130, 140 hotels in Hammamet.
Wow.
More or less the same, more or less, with better quality, but the same business model with tour operators and package and mass tourism.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking of changing and making a new product that is not a mass tourism product. And then during this strategic thinking, we had the revolution in Tunisia.
Wow.
And I was very, very involved in the revolution during the weeks of the revolution on the net. My conviction was that Tunisia needed change. More freedom, more rights, more democracy, more individual initiative for the private sector. Another Tunisia, and I was convinced because of the level of education in Tunisia, because school is compulsory for all the children since 1956. Because women in Tunisia had all their rights since 1956, because all of these specific culture, specific points in our culture in Tunisia, I felt Tunisian people were ready to step into democracy. So during 2 years, after Ben Ali quit the country, I was very, very involved in the civil society organization. Mm-hmm. I was a member founder of 2 associations in civic education. Mm-hmm. I turned all along the country from north to south, from east to west, to encounter Tunisian citizens and to explain this democratical transition, how it is important that every Tunisian get involved either in political party or in association or in business corporates, etc. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I found out during that 2 years that the main need, the first need was social and economical, much more than the pure democratical concepts of free election, free press, rights, etc. So I had the chance to have a nice patrimoine, a nice financial resource, correct financial resource, mm-hmm. to invest.
Sponsors and investors. Mm-hmm.
And try to create jobs and to help the economical growth of the country. So I decided to build a luxury hotel, mm-hmm. while Tunisia was not really a luxury destination, mm-hmm. and to prove that with Tunisian skills, we can be among the international standards in the hotel industry. Mm-hmm. Why hotels? Because as I told you, it's my main activity sector since I was born. Yeah, and this was the sector I mastered the most. Yeah, and I had the chance to have the confidence and to be confirmed with the leading hotels of the world standards. And till now, since 2014, the hotel still is the only member of the leading hotels of the world in Tunisia.
Wonderful.
So
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. So the challenge, I think I would have never built Hotel La Badira like I did without my MBA in 2010 and without the revolution. I wanted, after the revolution, I thought it was not coherent to continue doing tourism as it was
the traditional way
before the revolution.
So I want to just interrupt you for a second, because I really like how you linked, the new turn in taking basically your hotels to a new level, right? To the luxury market, away from the traditional sort of mass tourism model that was or that continues to be prevalent. So what is it about the revolution in particular, beyond just, what you learned in your MBA, but the revolution in particular and that experience that got you thinking, this is the right time to do this? Because people were still, thinking, well, what is, they were uncertain about what the future looks like. It was a very difficult time from what I recall. And people had hope, but there was also fear of what's coming next. So what is it that gave you the drive to say, actually, this is the right time to do this?
It's my unlimited faith in my country. This is a very deep conviction I have. And while I was leading the construction work during 2 years, it was year 2013 and year 2014, it was the peak of incertitude and troubles, political troubles in Tunisia. And of course, all the business milieu, business
sector. Or
sector,
the private sector
was treating me, was telling I was crazy to invest such a huge amount of money in the hotel industry, because, as you know, each time there was incidents or violence or political troubles, the first sector to be aimed and
absolutely
is tourism. So
right. Yes,
I was convinced that there was an end of the tour operator model because of the open sky in the whole world, because of internet, because of the freedom internet gave to our clients, that no more need to go to a tour operator and to buy a 1 week package in a hotel. Now from their sofa, they can book their flights, the hour they want, the hotel they want. So we don't have any more need to have intermediate like tour operators. And I wanted, because in 2011 we were very, very, very proud of what we did with the political revolution and how we succeeded without violence, without people, without death, to impose a change. A political change, which is unique in the Arabic world.
Absolutely.
And how we deserve to integrate the small circle of democratical countries. And from this proudness, is this English proudness?
This pride.
This pride, okay. From this pride, I wanted to put this pride in my sector, that is hotel industry, and to do something that proves that Tunisia deserves to be among the international destination in luxury hotels.
Thank you.
I didn't want people continue saying it's a 5 stars, but local standards. There are no local standards with the leading hotels of the world. We are among the best hotels in the world.
Absolutely. And that's a great step to take for Tunisia. So I want to turn to the challenges that you faced, but also what you think entrepreneurs face in Tunisia. I know the government is really trying to support entrepreneurs. There was the Startup Act that was passed in 2017 that made it easier for businesses to register, that allowed for businesses to hold foreign currency, or at least raised the ceiling for that, which is essential in a country like Tunisia because of the Tunisian dinar. But what challenges do entrepreneurs face, and what do you think the government and the private sector can do to strengthen the entrepreneurship ecosystem?
Merissa, I don't agree with you when you say the government is supporting entrepreneurs. The government only partly support startups. That's
startups.
It.
Okay.
So all the other companies and businesses that are not startups are not supported.
Okay, they're not supported.
Nothing changed after 2011, and we are still working now and functioning with the same rules as before revolution.
What do you want to change?
Bureaucracy.
Okay.
Our French heritage from colonialism, we inherited nice things, but also bad things. And one of the worst is bureaucracy. The Tunisian administration had a very big power for years through the authorization they impose for every business. So every entrepreneur is not free to
exercise.
Yeah, to exercise his business without
to implement
these famous administrative agreements. And to get the administrative agreement, it takes very long time, lots of papers, lots of work, lots of energy, and even the texts are not very clear. They are subject to interpretation, and each time a rule is subject to interpretation, it gives more power to the Tunisian administration. And this is really, for me, the worst
obstacle
break to the development, to the growth, to the private sector, to create jobs and to create growth.
So how do you see your role as a business owner, but you're also a member of Reseau Entreprendre, and you're a community of business leaders that try to help others. So tell us a little bit more about what you do with the Reseau, but also what your role as a business owner is to try to change some of that approach of the government.
Okay, and if we have time, I would like also to speak about my 4 years in the board of the Tunisian Hotel Federation also. We'll begin with the Reseau Entreprendre. So Reseau Entreprendre was born in 1995 in France by a founder called André Muliez. It's a very big wealth family in the north of France. And André Muliez was very sad to fire 600 employees because one of his plants was producing the wool. The wool needed in the traditional way to make a tricotage. I don't know the name in English, sorry.
Embroidery?
Maybe. So he said French people stopped brooding is this one.
Handcrafts,
And he decided to create this Reseau Entreprendre because the signature was to create jobs. We have to create entrepreneurs. So the Reseau, to be member of the Reseau, you have to be an entrepreneur and to give a bit of your time and of your money to support young entrepreneur with your network, with your advices, with your experience. So in each comité d'engagement, in each board we have and each jury we have to decide either or not the candidate will be agreed as a laureate of Reseau Entreprendre. We are 5 to 6 entrepreneurs around the table discussing the person of the personality of the entrepreneur, how experienced he is, how he master his business field, either or not, whether if not or not he had make a market study. There is a demand on the market for his product or no, and of course the business plan. And after we assign to each young entrepreneur, we agree a sort of elder coach, member of Reseau Entreprendre, who will be linked to him during 2 years.
So a mentorship program meeting, of some sort.
Monthly meeting, because all of us know that the 5 or even the 2 first years of activity of a new job are crucial for the success or the company that can disappear. And the statistics say that 50% of new companies finally do not step after 2 years, disappear after 2 years.
Yeah, they fold.
With our support, this statistic goes to 80%, which is
wonderful.
Quite good for this new entrepreneur.
So that's what you're trying to do with Tunisian businesses as well.
Exactly, with the Tunisian office of Reseau Entreprendre. Yes, it opened in October 2010. I was from the beginning member of this Reseau Entreprendre, the Tunisian branch.
Wonderful. I mean, this is really important because that's exactly what basically entrepreneurs need to, not just like you said, to support startups, but to also help entrepreneurs who are already established to grow and to move forward. And the fact that this statistic is, with the Reseau's help, is up to 80%. I think that's very telling as to the needs that are met by business owners like yours. Mouna, I'm going to ask you, because we're running out of time, I'm going to ask you if you have any words of wisdom. We call these the before you launch words of wisdom for any entrepreneur in Tunisia or in the Middle East and North Africa region who wants to start their own business or to grow their business. What is your advice to entrepreneurs?
Well, first of all, they need to really believe and have faith on their project or on their idea.
Mm-hmm.
To be sure, they will accept even a relative failure and learn from a failure and améliorer and
improve
the project, improve the idea, evaluate the idea, listen to advisors a lot, listen to senior advisors, even go and knock at the door of senior senior managers in their fields and listen to their advices. Because after seeing so many entrepreneurs, I'm now convinced that not all the people can be entrepreneurs. So maybe also recognize if someone is more comfortable to have a salary and be in a big company, it can be better for his profile than to become a self-entrepreneur. I
Thank
don't know
you.
if my words.
No, that is very clear. That is, it's good to start.
To avoid failure for some profiles that maybe will succeed, have more success, will succeed much better being
part of a larger company.
In a company, executive, rather than being at the head of their company.
Mouna, thank you so much for your time today. We learned a lot about you and about Tunisia. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Merissa.
This podcast is funded by a grant from the United States Department of State. The opinions, findings, and conclusions of this podcast are those of our guests and do not necessarily reflect those of the U.S. Department of State.